This my take, I'm coming in hot, right in your face. The moment can't wait, I'm running the race and you running in place. Where you going, man? Speak with your chest, say it with pride, and move to the left. I'm known as the best, and it ain't a threat, just a promise I kept. I kick that, shoot those, you stare, shoot smoke, pass cross, I'm go. Like Messi, Naldo, Jordan, the ring zone, Tyson, the ring though, and me, Pepito.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Pepito's Take. First off, I want to thank you guys for listening to our last episode. Please subscribe below. So today, I have a guest with me. As you can see, I got my man here, Artie. What's up, Artie?
What's up, Jerry?
Thank you for being here, man. I appreciate that. Artie is a big soccer fan, and I discovered it actually last night that you were a huge soccer fan, bro. And you know how?
How?
You sent me the script for today, right?
Yeah.
And you gave me points that I had no idea what was going on. Literally, I was like, what's this guy talking about? So I could tell that you're so really, into the game, so in tune with everything that's happening, not only Serie A, but also the English league, any other league possible. So it's good to, be here with you and, talk shop, talk about, soccer and what you do in the soccer world. I know now you're coaching young kids. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct. I do coach at a slew of different enterprises, one will call it. I work with a soccer club, I work with a training company, and the whole goal is just to make sure we ensure the best training possible for the next generation coming up. That's like the main goal of it.
That's cool. And also you do you do a lot of media stuff for sports on the side, right? I mean, that's how we actually got connected because he does all the media stuff here for me, and also having somebody who knows the game like how he does, right? It's always fun to always talk back and forth. So we did these last couple episodes, right? So I'm talking to him after the episodes, and I'm like, bro, like this is stuff that we should be talking on air.
I know, right?
Correct.
Like,
so it's like, all right, like this episode, I wanted you to be here. I want to talk shop as you see it a different way than I do in certain things, right? And that's the most beautiful thing, right? When there's like different opinions about soccer, there's never like a right or wrong, right? You could always learn, yeah, I played the game, blah, 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 I've been here all my life. But listen, I can also learn from you. So don't be scared to come at me. You understand?
oh, no, trust me. There's plenty of times when, like, while we're recording, I'm behind the camera, I'm just like...
I saw you nod a couple times.
I nod, but there's a couple, I'm just like, okay.
Should I edit this? Love it, man. Love it. So listen, talk to me a little bit about yourself. You're in the game. How did you fall in love with this game of soccer? Tell me a little bit about your background.
So you're saying, like football has been around my life for all of my life. And the earliest memory I have, you will not believe the earliest memory I have. And it's tied to like sort of emotional part of my life. Because when I was like 4 or 5 years old, the one thing I always did was I'd always spend the weekend at my grandparents' house. Guaranteed, always there, right? And they would always be there with their friends who would always come over, family, whatever. And it'd be like me watching the TV while they're in the background, just like talking shop, whatever. The TV would always snap my attention, right? And, they always sit there and talking, and I'm watching it. And I'm like, it's a May United game. Surprise, surprise. And I see it's like, everyone remembers those blue kits with like, the red trims on the top, the old Nike logo, like Nike era May United, never. Beautiful. But, no, so anyways, I see Ruud Van Nistelrooy up top doing his thing. And he gets subbed off. And the thing that really caught my eyes when the commentator said, originally from New Jersey, I'm like, yo, pause, hold on, what is going on here? And then I see Giuseppe for the first time in my life get subbed on, and then he scores on his debut. It's like, talk about like the most magical thing, right? So that's like one of my earliest memories of football. It's like crazy how it's full circle now. But then also like the moment that made me fall in love with it, I told you this before. I'm sitting there again at the grandparents' house, everyone behind me talking shop, whatever. And, I'm watching it. It's February 12th of 2011, okay?
Damn, bro. You remember even the date.
Well, because it's on the shirt. So I'm going to explain it just a moment. So, so the thing is that I'm sitting there watching, and I see Scholesy plays a beautiful big ball wide to Nani. Nani dribbling down, cross to Dwayne Rooney, back in the goal. Manchester Derby. Like, those were the Derby days, And like that kind of stuff is ingrained in my memory. It's what made me truly fall in love with this game. And especially when you have those moments of, falling in love with it and those early memories. And, sometimes like those people who are in those memories, you aren't with you anymore. So, like it sucks, but it's sometimes one of those happiest moments you have with them, with you, Exactly. So it's a cool thing. But yeah, football's been around my life for most of my life. And that's just sort of how it's been for me, and the love I have for it and the way how I sort of like delve into it deeper, because obviously as someone who's taking the coaching reins now and working in media, you have to know more than everyone else. Like you have to find a way to develop more than everyone else, right? That's sort of like the big key there. And I see this a lot when it comes to either the teams I coach at with the soccer club, the training company, or even the high school I'm working at right now for varsity soccer. So that's sort of like the big things that I'm trying to take in and put into there, and also give myself some credibility. Because again, like for example, if it's me going on CBS Colossal Show, maybe one day, who knows?
Listen,
one day.
You have the voice, you know your stuff, so it could happen.
One day. That's what I'm saying, one day. I'm never giving up on that. But like one day. And like that kind of stuff, you need to know if you weren't a professional or you haven't been that journalist for like 15 plus years who's broken all the big stories. Like Fabrizio Romano, doesn't matter how good he was at ball, he knows everything. No one's going to question him.
That guy has grown an empire.
Yes.
Like Fabrizio Romano, man, I remember when I was younger, he was just a normal journalist, small journalist, doing his thing, getting it. Bro, he just blew up. And it's crazy, though, because people like Fabrizio Romano, right? He's a great guy. Love the guy. Really, really humble, even though he still has, he has his millions of fans. Really humble dude. But it just tells you, like today's times in soccer, right? He talks about what? Transfers, correct? And with transfers comes money, comes the number games, right? So somebody who gives news about transfers and contracts and left and right transfer fees, which are hundreds of millions or whatever it is, right? That's what people like today. That's what people want to hear, right? And I get that. That's cool. That's great. I just wish that, I think I said this like a million times in my podcast. I just wish the game was going in a different direction. But listen, if the times are those today, then we have to adapt, correct? We have to try and accept it. It's hard for me to accept, right? But we have to try and accept it that today's fan cares more about the young fan cares more about the money, the contract length, the transfer fees. There's no more Paolo Maldini. There's no more Francesco Totti or Alessandro Del Piero, right? That are there, the Scolzis and all these people, right? That are there, Bruni's, for years and years and years on the teams, correct? Just because it doesn't create any more buzz. There's no more that loyalty, because when there's money, a lot of money involved, that's when loyalty slowly dissipates, right? And that's what, seeing this guy, Fabrizio Romano, which I said, great dude, having that type of platform and, banking on it, because you have to live in the times that we're in today. The dude's doing great.
But I think also with Fabrizio, I don't think it's because people are obsessed with the transfers and the numbers. I think it's more so the fact that they can trust him. Because whose mouth can you really trust nowadays in football? Exactly. Like these owners will say one thing, but then they'll do another. These managers will give like a political sort of response. Even like, for example, like Gary Neville as a pundit, like he sometimes even has to give these political responses because he doesn't know what the right thing to say. Yeah. Whereas like the average football fan could be like, I'm not too sure about this. What does Fabrizio say? The guy who's like the most trusted, also vets all of his information. Yeah. Anytime like there's something he receives, like from like doing a lot of research trying to figure out what he does, it's like goes through vets. Like everything is trusted, sourced, and I think that's where people sort of have that enamor towards him, because sure, like they want to see the people who make the money and have all this kind of stuff, but I think they more just want to know who to trust to hear stuff.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you have to go through your due diligence when you give these crazy info, right? And there's a lot of people here in the U.S. with the basketball and the NFL, they go to certain people when they want that information. And that's how you build a trustworthy type of, aura like around you when it does come to these breaking news, right? So basically what you're saying is that you want to model yourself around the Fabrizio Romano instead of Gary Neville, pundit-wise.
Yeah, pundit-wise, I think because the problem is that, like, when it's, like, match of the day, or when it's, like, Monday Night Football over in England, like, when you watch all those Sky clips, a lot of it is just, like, it's like generic statements. And it's like stuff that's
because they don't want to
repetitive.
hurt, I guess, people's feelings because they have a lot of relationships with, maybe Gary still has a lot of relationships with, with Manchester United. Maybe Alan Shearer still has a lot of connections with Newcastle,
no,
so
of
they're
course.
never going to.
And that's why, like, I still respect it, and that's why I love when they, like, for example, when Gary does the overlap or he does stick to football and stuff like that. Like, that stuff is good, but my bigger gripes actually are with the American pundits. Because the problem is that I think that, and that's why I want to break into it more and more, because which is why I've sort of been favoring the media stuff more than the coaching stuff lately, is that when you see these guys talk on TV, like an Alejandro Moreno, like, guy played for Columbus Crew, had a professional career, like, good for him, all that kind of stuff. But the way how he just talks about stuff, it feels like it's sensationalist. It's not like, here's my honest opinion, and here's what my experience has brought you, And I feel like that's like the biggest problem with American football media at the current moment, because it's so young in its infancy. I think that's the biggest issue.
That's a good point, man. That's a good point. Listen, I hope you're the one to change that. Beef between Artie and Moreno. I'd love to hear that. I'll back you
boxing
up.
fight? I'll take
I'll back you up any day, any hour of the day, man. That's funny. That's great. But it's kind of interesting that you're kind of talking about the pundits and the people who actually do speak on the game. I feel like more than anything, there's a lack of shows, so there's a lack of time on TV where maybe you could give extra people time in front of the screen to voice their opinion. So instead of having the same ones that you see on ESPN or maybe on CBS Golazo, maybe there should be some other shows on different networks to where, hey, let's get some more people rolling, right? Instead of hearing like the same old ones. Because if you look at like American sports here and like football, let's just say, right? Mm-hmm. Bro, I don't know how many analysts, how many like pundits there are, ex-players that get into it. There's like so many, bro. There's so many people. If it's on ESPN, if it's on Fox, if it's like podcasts, like is there any player, I guess now besides me, that are doing podcasts in English here in America trying to tell the game? I don't know. I feel like you know more.
You have Lexi Lawless, but no offense, I don't listen to him. I don't like him at all. I'm glad we're on the same page on that. I don't like him at all. No, but like you do hear these these interviews. Like, for example, TNT does a really good job because they've taken that Sky Sports model. Because what Sky's done,
wait,
really
they
well,
do what? Wait, tell me, because I don't know what TNT does.
Oh, so like because I think they're with like Bleacher Report and stuff like that, and how they have those shows for like the Champions League and stuff, where they'll have like your...
Oh yeah, Steve Nash was on it, right?
Yeah, they'll have like Steve Nash, but they'll have like your Jamie Carragher's and stuff like that. Like, they'll bring in the different footballers, and they're following that Sky Sports model, because what Sky Sports been doing really well lately, and and this is something I've sort of tried to model myself under, is that they have a lot of these online digital shows that work very, very well. Like, for example, Saturday Social. Again, I don't want to get free promo to people. I feel like we should be paid for this kind of stuff. But for example, Saturday Social. I follow that show because I followed a whole bunch of those guys in their individual careers.
Wait, tell me. Listen, I don't follow this stuff. So tell me, who's on Saturday Social?
Okay, so the biggest guy for me is Joe Tomlinson. He's one of the main hosts with this. What's his name?
Is this in America, first of all?
No, this is England.
I was about to say, I'm like,
England
wait, so
does, that's what I'm saying.
So I'm going to say, there are shows in America, but no, you're talking about Europe.
England's doing it very, very well. That's what I'm saying. Sky Sports has the model.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. Let's bring this stuff to the U.S.
Yeah.
Because like everything today is social. Everything today is all digital, right? Bro, I don't see nothing when it comes to podcasts that is dedicated to soccer. There's the one that Kate Abdo does with the guys. On CBS, it's called, I forgot what it calls. It's on the CBS Golazo.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's a really good show.
Which is awesome, right? They have some deep
like
conversations with
on Clint Dempsey. Like,
exactly.
There's some good episodes there.
Yeah, Josie was there too, Josie Alto. So like they have some good stuff there. And I appreciate that. I like the effort. I want to see more of that, right? Because like you said, we only have a few people that are talking about the game on TV. If it's ESPN, if it's CBS, if it's it's Fox, whatever it is, right? But it's the same voices. It's the same voices. And I feel like, I'm with you, man. Some of those voices, I don't like. Some of those voices are just like, I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that they say, right? So, and like you said, it's not really, it's a very political it's a very politically correct type of way of answering questions. When you have your own platform like this, man, you just say what the hell you want to say, right? And yeah, like this is your platform. Like you are the boss of what is happening. You say what you want. You're in an environment. Listen, we have nobody here, right? It's just me and you and a couple of people behind, and that's it. All right, that's all. Yeah. That's really it. So you feel comfortable just saying whatever it is that you want to say. And I think we need more of that in the soccer world, right? Yeah. Trying to copy, like you said, maybe England does it well. I follow the Overlap. I follow Gary and Roy Keane that they do their stuff. I follow Rio Ferdinand. He's got a great.
It's just a good blend of like between like not like the armchair fans, but the guys who again follow the sport religiously, and they sometimes they have the eye test, but it's not as trusted as let's say the eye test of Gary Neville. Yeah. But they do enough background work where sort of like they moneyball it, where they look at the stats, they see okay, my eyes show me this. How can I prove this? I think that's the biggest thing right now is that they've been able to give proof and not make it seem like they're just reading a stat sheet the whole entire time. But the one person who I think in America has been doing it very, very well in giving their opinion in regards of like podcasting and stuff was I think the recently ended show. I'm not sure if it's still going on. It's called the Laid Out Podcast with Connor Lade. But for me, it's Bradley Ray Phillips.
Oh, yeah.
So Brad, shout out Brad, I love you. So Brad actually works at New York Rebels right now. He's the assistant coach Rebels too, and he was doing the Laid Out podcast with Connor Lade, and
Connor, man, I train with Connor.
And the thing is, the thing that impressed me the most with Brad with that was when they had Thierry Henry on, and that interview, like the way how like Brad was asking questions, you know, like figuring things out, like that one really caught my attention. And also, like, I've met Brad in person because my brother works with him, and he's like a cool dude. The first time when, like, for example, like me growing up as a Rebels fan as well, like the first time when like Bradley Ray Phillips daps you up as like one of the boys, and you're like, what is happening?
Legend for Rebel, man.
Crazy.
Legend. That must have been great for you.
And what's the legacy he comes from? Like, I think like him and his brother Sean, they're Ian Wright's kids, right? I'm not mistaken. That's how it is. Think about it. Like that's talk about football heritage. Like that's football heritage right there.
That is crazy. And you know what? I didn't know that Connor and Brad did have a podcast.
Yeah, I think it was primarily Connor, and then Brad would be on.
How long has that been?
I can't remember how long it's been for.
Bro, too much free promo here, bro. Too much free promo.
That's what I'm saying.
Gosh,
that's what I'm saying. But like for Brad, I'll give it. For Brad, I definitely will. Anyone else? Hit up his email, hit up his Instagram, slide the DMs. We're charging from now on. We've tapped out for the year 2024. No more free promo. That's it. All right.
Love it. But you know what? That's what I want to see. I want to see more players get in front, talk their talk, experiences, what they think about certain situations, and just off the cuff, man. Nothing with a script in front of you and you're talking about it like maybe how these major networks do, right? Because you want to see authenticity, correct? And I think people are tired of just seeing, you know, what they see on TV. Everybody's going to this digital world, right? If you see it in other sports, in American football, in basketball, everybody's got podcasts, bro. Yeah. If people are tuning into that more than what they're listening to online, than on TV, bro.
With ESPN,
they're listening to more on that. Like it's more. You got people that are playing and then they finish the game and then they're on their podcast. So Draymond Green, you got Micah Parsons, you have some other.
Like the
it's crazy.
Perfect. It's authentic.
Yeah.
Like TV, there's a lot of corporate behind it. There's a lot of things. Whereas, like, for example, like when you do a podcast, like this is more intimate of a setting. Like, and also with a podcast, it's not live to TV, or it's like, it's tough with that because, like, for example, when I've done like radio shows for a very long time now, and when stuff goes live to air, it's tough to control what people want to say and don't want to say. And for example, that professional player, if they're coming fresh off a game, they might still have a little bit of that adrenaline or that heat in them. People love that, but sometimes it'll bite them.
It will get them in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. It'll get them in trouble.
But at the end of the day, bro, it's like your show. Like, it's your show, and you're going to say what you want. And listen, if people don't want to show it on their TVs and on their shows on the ESPNs or Fox Sports, who cares? Guess what? People are going to log into your show. They're going to log in onto your Instagram, log in onto your YouTube. And there you go, bro. You have your players that are giving their opinions on what they think. And like we said, it's authentic. I want to see more of that. I don't want to see the same faces like how we've been saying, right? On these shows that talk a lot of gibberish that really is like, really, it's all fluff. It's not really like, it's just like a script. I'm saying my stuff and then I'm out, right? I have my boys at the CBS show, and I'm gonna give them a shout out because they do an amazing job. You have Marco Messina, you have Mike Grella, and you have Matteo Bonetti, right? And together with Poppy, they do Poppy Miller. They do a great job because I went there like a couple of times, right, on the Serie A show. And bro, it's like literally talking shop. It's like me talking to you like here and there. And sometimes, man, it's just like we're going to talk as brothers. We're going to talk as if we're at like a bar, right? And I feel comfortable in that environment rather than like I did back in the day for ESPN. I was with, I did like the Euros when I was hurt. They called me in to do Euros at Bristol. And there was Lawless and there was, I remember Michael Ballack. And literally, bro, it's like statues. Yes, great game. We love it. Thank you. Have a great day. Enjoy this game. Like, I'm like, bro, like, that's
they're
not
more
how we
like
do it, bro.
news shows. I think that's the problem is that they try to follow the news format. Like, whereas with CBS, it's like, it's journalism, but it's still like it's a live talk show. Like, that's what it's about. It's about talking. It's about talking shop. Whereas with ESPN, you're reporting. It's a lot of reporting.
I don't want to report, bro. I don't want to report. I want to talk. I want to hear your opinion. I want to go against your opinion, but I want to learn something from you. How I want you to learn something from me, right? And then that's what they want to see, right? That's what because they're going to be listening to two different point of views, and then they're going to form their own opinion, right? So like that's the beauty. That's the beauty of having this type of platform rather than going on that show. Listen, the closest thing that comes to TV when it comes to debating left and right is First Take, right? I don't know. I like First Take. You don't like First Take?
I just feel like it's either like they're
run by Stephen A. So like, you know, you have to.
The problem. Stephen A. Smith is either a Don when it comes to explaining a point, or he yells too much. There's no in between. I feel like, because me, I'm big about consistency. If you want to have a show, you want it to be a good show, it has to be consistent. Whether it's the editing, whether it's the way how you speak, whether it's the show structure, consistency is king, and that's how you keep a lot of people in. Like on ESPN, Stephen A. Smith, he knows he has a certain day, certain time the show goes. And he knows there has to be a certain script, and obviously you have to switch things up every once in a while. But it's a lot of just like it. Lately, it's gotten to the point where it's no longer explaining your point. It's a lot of just yelling at people till they're quiet.
More of like a show now, rather than actually being a debate show, right? An act. It's more of an act rather than like a debate show. And I used to like those debate shows with him and Max Kellerman, with him and Skip Bayless, right? Because they literally were going back and forth a lot. Correct? More with Skip Bayless. But then, you know, Stephen A. Smith, he took over, and now, like you said, it's more of an act. And therefore, what other shows are like that around, like where they have a lot of authenticity and a lot of just like, you know, me, you know, just wanting to voice my opinion without caring what the consequences are, correct? It's not much anymore. I still try to follow First Take as much as I can, just because, you know, I continue to hope that I find that conversation where they kind of like, you know, go back and forth and whatnot. But listen, all this is a great time to start it in this moment right now in America, right? These shows, soccer, talk about it. But guess what? 2026. What's 2026?
2026 is where I'm going bankrupt for the World Cup. That's what 2026 is. I will, to my lovely girlfriend, I will sell you if I have to for a ticket. I'm sorry, not sorry.
So you're going to sell it for the ticket to watch any game, or?
Oh, no, the final at MetLife. Oh, come on. No. Not any game. I'm not a monster. I'm not a complete monster.
Okay. I was about to say, I didn't know who I have around here. Like, I just wanted to make sure that.
For the final, come on. Like,
I just wanted to make sure that your morals look up. But for the final, I like it.
For like, you know, at that time, I'll be 26. Someone who's been watching the World Cup, idolizing the sport growing up, anything's fair game. Yeah.
Got you, man. I got you. Listen, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Because the last time they came to America, they had the final at the Rose Bowl. I remember it was 1994, and I went to see Italy play against Ireland, and we lost 1-0. We were playing in 10 men. I still remember it was in the group stage, and we literally got out of that group stage with 4 points. And then we got up to the finals, and we lost, unfortunately, against Brazil. But that was one of the best experiences I've had, man. I loved it. We went out. Me and my father, he took me. It was my sister's birthday. My sister still to this day doesn't forget my pops for that. So your girlfriend will not forgive you when you go to the finals. Trust me, it's okay. It's all worth it. I'm telling you.
No, she'll forgive, but never forget. There's a difference.
She loves you too much.
Exactly.
But that experience, bro, was amazing. Like, I would do that over and over again. I hope, 24? So 2 more years. My little girl will be 5 years old. She probably won't know what's going on. But if I could take her,
But
I could
that's
take her to a
still
World
bragging,
Cup.
right? When you're like,
Bro,
even when you get
well,
older.
I mean,
you're 15,
yeah,
like,
but I want her to
saw a
remember
2026 World Cup.
But I want to like literally. I was 7 years old. 7. Yeah, I was 7, bro. I remember we were in a sea of Irish fans. I don't know how we got seats in front of all the Irish fans. But when they scored, bro, everybody was jumping like crazy. Me and my pop sitting down, like, you know, like scared, like not scared, but like we were like, ah, damn. But like I have to ask my father, like, yo, like, why did we get seats in the middle of all the Irish fans? How come we couldn't be with the Italian fans? So I'm gonna make sure that I don't make that mistake. But when I take my little baby to the game,
I mean, she'll remember it. Like, if I just told you a story about being 4 years old, remembering you scoring on your debut, I think she can remember. You know,
that's a cool story, man. I like
that's
that.
what I'm saying. It's
I
like,
didn't know that. I didn't know.
like-
You kept that from me. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
I saved it for if I were ever I was on and we needed a cool moment. I got you. No.
But yeah, 2026 finals at MetLife. Everybody said it was gonna go to Dallas.
Yeah, I think the switch was because it's just MetLife makes more sense because the airport's nearby. And think about it, Jersey's been doing the construction coincidentally to be ready for 2026 by the highways, be ready to go, finally done. I know I'm sure because I'm around that area all the time for work.
They were supposed to finish all that stuff for the Super Bowl that they did. I think in 2018 or whatever.
That was a cover up. They were planning for the World Cup the whole time, my guy. Come on.
Oh man, I hope so. But that's gonna be a mess. Yeah, Route 3 over there, the new mall's gonna be.
But they made it like 4 lanes now. They finally finished it.
I haven't gone in that area in a while.
But yeah, that's the point I'm making though, because you're gonna have LaGuardia, JFK, Newark, 3 major airports people will want to go for the final.
So here's a question. I just read right now that for the Super Bowl, the cheapest ticket right now is like around $7,000.
Yeah,
$7,000 for the damn Super Bowl. How much you think the cheapest ticket is gonna be for the World Cup final?
I feel like the way how they're sold is different because like so they released it 2 years before.
Oh, they do.
I think it's usually 2 or a year and a half before the actual final. And the way how it is, just first come, first serve. And they don't give it base seating. Like, they're not going to charge it as if you're going to a Giants game, like cheapest chips. But they're going to make sure that like it makes sense, it's fair. But they're also, why I love that I'm actually more excited to see this at MetLife now is that supposedly they're removing like 1,400 seats to make it 75 yards wide, like a proper pitch.
Oh yeah, because
It's 53 right now.
Yes, it's very tight. You're
So
right.
they're going to make it 75. And then also, supposedly, for like that whole year, it's going to be grass only. Supposedly. This is a rumor. Allegedly. I cannot confirm this. But it's a potential aspect of having a grass pitch for a World Cup final.
And you vetted all that information.
I'm not Fabrizio, guys. I'm not Fabrizio. I'm not. I'm told. I said it. Supposedly, allegedly, there's a chance. Don't get your hopes up. I'm saying allegedly, supposedly. Yeah, but I'm also covering myself. That's what I'm saying. Allegedly, supposedly. If I'm 100% about something, I'll tell you 100%.
All right. Well, listen. I hope that's the case. No, but trust me. If it's the World Cup, there's gonna be no turf in any of the fields. Are you kidding me, bro? No, I don't even think it's like allowed. Truthfully, I don't know.
Well, no, because
Fact check me on that, but I don't know if
you're
the rules
100%
are
right. Because I think it was. I remember it vividly. It was an Arsenal game that was like back in 2017. Because I remember Alexis Sanchez should have torn his ACL if they didn't put grass over the turf. It was a game. I vividly remember this. I remember looking at the physio reports and stuff like that, and they had said like if there was no grass above this turf, that was all the cement below it, Alexis' knee should have been blown out. Done.
That's wild.
Yeah,
that's wild. I hope, because I think in the MLS today they still have a lot of like
turf fields.
The NFL, they all have turf fields, and everybody's complaining about it. But they're saying, all these reports about turf field and grass, everybody still gets injured if it's grass. I feel like that's bullshit. I feel like that's bullshit, man. They're just trying to cover up,
You can't tell me as someone who's like the average. By the way, I'm officially an amateur soccer player according to my Sunday League player pass. Amateur, okay, I'm an amateur. Anyways, no. So like, any of my injuries in my minuscule playing career have all been on turf, never on grass. The only grass injury I got was an impact injury where I got a concussion. That's it.
You've had one concussion?
Yeah, just one, luckily. Because usually everyone's afraid to go up for a header against me.
I had like around like 7 or 8. Yeah, because you're a big freaking dude. That's why.
6'1".
But truthfully, listen, when I was talking about concussions, I had like 7 or 8 in my career.
Yeah.
Before my knee injuries, bro, I used to always jump for every head ball against the 6'2" or 3s. In England, I got most of them because in England, bro, they going hard. And I got knocked out really, really hard sometimes, man. It was pretty crazy. So, but after my knee injuries, I stopped kind of like jumping for the ball one-on-one just because, you don't want to land and get hurt. But yeah, but whatever. That was just a little fun fact I wanted to throw in since we talked about concussions.
Well, the craziest thing is that's how my brother blew out his knee his senior year, varsity year, playing soccer on a turf field, jumped up for a header, landed down, wraps. Yeah.
I don't like that. I hate that.
Shout out Arj, made of glass. It's okay. We still love you. Don't hurt me, please.
A lot of people still say that I'm made of glass. I hate that. That bothers me.
No, I don't think it's you. I think it's just the environments that professionals are put in. That's the problem. It's like you hear a lot of players, especially Rafael Varane. He's been a huge push for this about how they're playing like 75 games a calendar year. Like, look, don't get me wrong. Professional ballers make a lot of money. I did. I the other day I was researching. No, of course, no. But I'm just saying because like I looked at the United books the other day. I was like, who can we offload to make sure we, God forbid, no FFP. I want to make sure we're protected. Explain to me how like some of these guys like Anthony is making over like 150,000. I want to know how that makes sense. Like a week, 150,000 a week. But I was saying, but like for example, yes, they're getting paid a lot of money to play, but at the same time, you can't sort of like punish the footballer because there's a lot going on and they're playing a lot and that like they're making a lot of money. Yeah, because they're bringing you in a lot of money. Like just because they're bringing in more of the advertisements for you, just because they're doing that work that they're being paid to do doesn't mean they should suffer. Like Gavi, for example, should not have played 75 games in 1 year.
But that's why when there's more money involved, you have to, like I said, protect your investment. So then they're available every single game. So then the fans and people watching on TV are able to see their favorite players play, right? And then the quality of play is going to be so much better for the fans to watch and enjoy, right? So they think that having more games is more beneficial to the fans and to this and that. I don't think so because, like you said, right, you have to protect the players. The players are the most important thing when it comes to soccer, because without the soccer players, we don't have the fans, right? Because the fans, they want to support the player and the team, correct? So the more workload we have on our legs, the more games we play, it's inevitable, especially at this type of pace that we go, like 110 miles an hour each freaking game. Bro, injuries are going to happen. Big injuries are going to happen. If it's knees, if it's whatever it is, Achilles, whatever it is that happens, right? It's going to happen. Then you have your muscle tears. So that kind of stuff is what, it's sad to see, but we're seeing too much of it, right? Why is it that Messi didn't play in the game? Ronaldo wasn't there for the game, right? Ronaldo was injured, playing a million games, correct? Messi, I have to rest because whatever, they're doing a whole entire tour of the whole entire world. So poor dude was like, I'm not gonna play because I have to protect myself, because nobody's gonna protect themselves except me, right? They're not gonna say rest. No, they're gonna be like, play. The MLS is gonna be like, no, play. Coach will be like, play.
Every player when he plays against, they're all gonna try to chop him down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's another point, right? So that's another point.
Like that.
So, bro, you are literally not protecting the players, and therefore the players themselves have to stand up and be like, listen, I am not playing. Now everybody. So then you have Messi that basically is protecting his own self. He's making the decision to rest. People are pissed off at him, writing these articles left and right. But bro, we ain't freaking robots, man. Yeah, no. I know Messi is the best player that history has seen, arguably, right? And everybody wants to see him. And people were, I saw these people climb a mountain. We'll talk about that on another podcast. On the next episode, we'll talk about that. But climbing mountains to come see the freaking game, like it's crazy what these fans would do. But my man, it's not Messi's fault.
Yeah,
it's not Messi's fault. Ronaldo's injured, right? Be pissed off at the people who organize this crap and have these players like you said play 70, 80 games a whole year. Like, it's not sustainable for somebody playing at an intensity like we do, the amount of games that we do, right? in such a short period of time, bro, you can't do it. So I hope you're not one of the ones that are pissed off at a Messi or a Ronaldo not being able to.
I don't think I can ever be upset about that. Like, it happens, it sucks, and it's just unlucky at the end of the day. Like, I think the biggest example of players playing through injuries and suffering from it is, again, the guy wearing on my shirt, Wayne Rooney. The amount of times Fergie was like, "Oh, your ankle's busted? Don't care. I need you for this game." You know? And, like, when that happens to players, you force them to play through these injuries. You force them to keep playing, and you're basically just wringing them out and get as much as you can out of them.
And you can't make the excuse of, we paid you $100 million or we're paying you $10 million. Bro, I'm paying, you guys are paying me a salary that is adequate to my talent, correct? Of what I'm able to give on the field, right? It has nothing to do with, now, just because I pay you this much, we have to play 5-6 extra games.
But there's two parts of like a football contract, in my opinion. There's the player. So there's return on investment in two different ways. Return on investment of the player, the talent. He's either going to get you the goals, or he's going to play that role in the team where he's going to make sure you don't concede a goal, or he's going to make sure he connects the rest of the team, right? That makes sense. And there's a second part of, guess what? He's going to make us a lot in jersey sales. He's going to help with the marketing for any other product we have. Our sponsors are going to love that we have him because he's going to do everything we can for them. So at the end of the day, like, those are the two parts that a footballer attributes to, and that has to be respected. I think like that's the biggest thing.
Which has nothing to do with let's add 5-10 extra games a year because we want to see you more. Guess what's going to happen? You ain't going to see him for those next 5-10 days.
For the clubs. These clubs get like $6 million a piece off of these random tournaments. Yeah.
If we can say, no, we got to do this, we got to do that. I'm giving you X amount just if you guys play 5-6 extra games. So then the leagues and then the UEFAs and the FIFAs, they create this all these new formats of like extra games for the World Cup, and now there's the World Cup for clubs that has more. It's just a mess, bro. Too many, which is going to be held here in America, right? Yep. So that's another thing.
It's back to back. So it was the Women's World Cup, Copa America, FIFA Men's Club World Cup, and then it is World Cup.
That's ridiculous, man. It's so much, bro. So much.
But we need it because, like again, we talked about 1994.
No. So much. How many games that are played in a calendar year? But America, you're right. America does need this.
Yeah, because like again, 1994, the MLS would not exist without a World Cup. That was the deal with FIFA. FIFA said, sure, yeah. I do. Trust me. Any thesis and stuff I had to write in college was all about football. So FIFA said that the United States was not allowed to host a World Cup unless they formed a recognized major league, like first division. Yeah, and that's why in 1996, Major League Soccer was born. We had our Messer stars entering the Red Bull.
And that's why I wanted you on the damn podcast. It was I learned something new from you. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. If you don't mind, I want to get to the best part of the show.
Oh, the Pepito's hot take.
There you go, my friend. There you go. So for today's hot take, we are going to rank the top 10 best midfielders in the English Premier League. And he came up with the list. My boy already came up with the list.
Now, just to clarify, the Premier League era. So, like, the Premier League era. So, like, from 1992 onwards.
Okay.
And I'm going to say this right now. There's two names I excluded. Out front.
Okay.
Scott Parker, Gareth Barry. Sorry, not sorry. Out of here.
Scott Parker. I would not put Scott Parker.
Yeah, but a lot of people are, because Tottenham fans,
Barry, not bad. Barry? I like Barry. Barry was actually not, I'm surprised I didn't see
but the names you have here.
No, these names are crazy. So, top 10 of the best Premier League, right? I'm going to, you want to start with number 10?
Well, do we want to tell them where our list is?
Let's tell them the list.
Okay, so the list, so we have the options of Mesut Ozil, David Silva, Michael Carrick, Claude Makelele, Yaya Toure, Park Ji-sung, N'Golo Kante, Patrick Vieira, Mikel Arteta, Mikel Essien, Roy Keane, Cesc Fabregas, Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, Kevin De Bruyne, and Paul Scholes.
All right. So I'm going to give my list. All right. You ready for this?
So we're both going to give our number 10. So what's your number 10?
N'Golo Kante.
Disgraceful. For me, it's David Silva.
You have him that low?
Yeah. I don't think he's... Look, don't get me wrong. David Silva, long tenure. But I don't think he's as influential. Like, again, because we're comparing them to people on this list.
Okay.
I think compared to people on this list, number 10.
I don't know about that, bro. All right, whatever. All right. I'm curious to see your other ones. All right, fine. I'm gonna go with my number 9 right now, and I'm gonna say Cesc Fabregas.
That's low. That's criminal.
Why is that criminal?
That's
What did he win at Arsenal?
Arsenal and Chelsea. What do you mean?
Yeah, but Chelsea.
Yeah,
Well, he wasn't the star at Chelsea.
But what do you mean?
At Arsenal, he was like the prodigy kid. He won.
Matic
He won a few things.
and N'Golo Kante can't do anything without Cesc Fabregas in that midfield. He's influential. Plus, he has Premier Leagues at 2 different clubs.
He's got
Plus, it's the fact that he's dominated in 2 different eras of the Premier League.
But did he dominate with Chelsea?
Yes, he did.
You sure?
Positive. Think about
didn't
it.
follow too much at Chelsea. Arsenal, bro, he was a star.
Think
Arsenal
about
was
when
a
he was
star.
at Chelsea. Chelsea, won it? Leicester won it. Then they won it again.
Is that how it was?
Yes, and also don't
But how
forget,
influential was he though?
he's everything to that midfield. That midfield does nothing without him. Eden Hazard can't do what Eden Hazard does without Cesc Fabregas.
I don't know.
Matic
I think he
and
was more
Kante do
influential.
all the dirty work for him.
I think he was more influential in his Arsenal era to his team than the Chelsea.
If you say
era
so,
of
that's your number
Cesc.
9. My
What's
number
yours?
9 is Yaya Toure.
Let me see. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's a good number
You
9.
know why?
Why?
Because I have Yaya Toure at number 8.
Oh, number 8. That's respectful. Okay,
So we're close.
we're close.
Close.
We're close. My number 8 is N'Golo Kante.
Okay. All right. You're not that far, bro. You're giving me crap about number 10. He's number 8. I felt like you put him at number
yeah, but
1.
2 spots means a lot.
I felt like you put him at number
Because
1.
think about
Holy
it. N'Golo
shit.
Kante won it with a middling Leicester side that no one thought deserved to win it.
Exactly.
And
That's what
then
puts
he
him on
went
top.
and won it with Chelsea the next year.
Yeah. No, the dude was crazy.
And he's also won a Champions League,
but-
World Cup winner.
Yeah, but we're talking about but I mean, are we
Premier
talking
League.
about only
I'm
him
just talking about
in
like,
the
but
Premier
again,
League?
that's the
Because
pedigree of the player.
Yaya Toure, bro, he ran the midfield in the Premiership during that Mancini era where they won the
Mancini,
first one.
Pellegrini, yeah.
Bro, he ran that midfield, bro.
Yeah, but again, 2 seasons he won it where he was actually in the team. 17-18, he has a 3rd Premier League title, but he was just in the squad. He didn't really do anything.
But
to win
what
that
he
year.
did for Manchester City to get them to a certain point, like he was like one of their first like
that was
their
their
signing.
Yeah, exactly.
And bro, he literally transformed
Left
that
Pep,
team.
just Pep follow him. Poor
Love
guy.
to see that.
But number
What
7,
you on 7?
this is controversial, okay?
We got.
Number 7 for me is Patrick Vieira.
It's not that bad. I got David Silva.
It's
I got David
just
Silva.
because, like, look, Invincibles, I know it's impressive. It's so cool. But if you think about it, 2005 Mourinho nearly did the same thing with only losing 1 game and getting more points and more wins.
I know, bro. But look, listen. Like I said, I have David Silva at 7, right?
Mhm.
Because I said I thought he was very influential and he brought a lot of flair to midfield. Guardiola relied on him. Relied on him a lot for his style of play and won a lot of championships and whatnot. You said Vieira at 7.
7.
I have him at 6, and I understand. Like we're kind of close,
Mhm.
and I have him a little bit there. Just was that like season. Like you said, the Invincibles. He won that. Bro, he was a monster. Like people, I'm not gonna say fear them, but no, like he had a presence, like a certain presence, and then he won the game already before the game was played, right? So like for those 4, 5, 6 years at Arsenal, you couldn't touch Patrick.
He was also at Man City later on.
You couldn't, yeah. Well, yeah, it was at Man City. Did he?
Yeah,
play a lot at Man City?
he was like one of those early switches, like him and Schmeichel going to Man City.
Oh, okay, I got you. So yeah, I mean, he's in the right time. Like you have him at 6. Sorry, at 7. I have him at 6. Who do you have at 6?
My 6 is Roy Keane.
You have Roy Keane at 6, bro?
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that.
Because for me, like, look,
I don't know if I like that.
because, okay, you're not going to like it because my number 5 is really going to upset you. Because my number 5 is Cesc Fabregas.
Are you? I don't want to say, but you kidding me, bro?
Listen.
Fabregas at 5?
Listen, I'm a Man United fan. I love Roy Keane, all right? The dude's a brute, a dog, all right? But we're talking about in regards of, like, best Premier League midfielder. I know he has the titles.
Bro, how you rank Fabregas before Roy Keane?
Because I think it makes more sense.
This could be your last time on the show.
I think it'd be the last time I'm even working with you, but I know it's controversial, and I understand why it's controversial.
It's really ridiculous.
But like, look. Roy Keane, we get it. Premier League titles, leader of that Man United side. But when we're talking about all-around best midfield player, the titles is one part, right? Because there's some players who's going to be on this list who probably don't even have a Premier League title, right? So titles, I know they mean something, But again, if we're talking about all-around midfielder, crucial to that team,
Dog.
there's times
You did not watch Roy Keane. You did not watch Roy Keane play.
I did, because there's times where Man United won a game with having a John O'Shea in the midfield.
Yeah, but he was like, bro, come on, man. Like, it's Roy Keane, bro. He's like
Roy
literally
Keane,
when you think of Premiership,
yeah, but
the first midfielder you think of is freaking.
You have to understand, Roy Keane does nothing in that midfield without Paul Scholes. Roy Keane's nothing of a midfield player.
I am
going to
say the opposite.
Oui.
I will say the opposite. That there won't be a Paul Scholes if he didn't have a complimentary player like Roy Keane by his side.
Yeah, but then after Roy Keane, it was Mike
Roy Keane
Carrick.
does the dirty work.
It doesn't matter who's next to him. It's just someone who does dirty work.
Yeah, who does the dirty work, right? But having a Roy Keane with anybody else in there, bro, Roy Keane will still shine his way, which was that intimidating factor, which was his tactical positioning.
Yeah.
He was always ready for that, for that next line of defense. If it's like tackling somebody or if it's covering whoever it is that he had to cover, he was always there, bro. And that intimidation factor. Listen, even Patrick Vieira said there was one person that he was scared of, and it was Roy Keane.
Yeah.
Because that dude, bro.
That's why
that
they're next to
he
each
put
other.
his foot in.
7-6, you know?
Well, yeah. But bro, 5 of the guys love the
Number
dude,
5,
love the
yeah,
player.
yeah.
I don't know.
So what's
I'm
your
not a
number
fan.
5 then? Is it Roy Keane?
No. My number 5 is Frank Lampard.
That's crazy.
What?
That's crazy.
What? How's that crazy?
Dude,
How's that crazy?
You're saying Lance
He won 2 premierships or something.
Look,
like that.
I'm not a Chelsea fan. I hate
How much?
Chelsea.
But
you have to respect Frank Lampard, dude.
I respect him by
the
putting him at number
highest
5.
scoring midfielder. Did the dirty work at Chelsea. Carried Chelsea for the longest time.
Yeah, he did. But bro,
He was Steven Gerrard with titles.
He was Steven Gerrard with titles. I could give you that, but we're gonna get into these other players, bro. Frank Lampard, amazing player. At number 5, but you cannot, because I'll tell you where I got Roy Keane. You cannot say that Frank Lampard should be even in the same conversation as Roy Keane, in my opinion.
That's crazy.
In my opinion, Roy Keane, it's not about the goals, bro. Midfielder is about that positional sense, the balance that you create among your teammates. Like, you have to have a 360-degree view of the whole field.
My question is, what is Chelsea without Frank Lampard? Because when I'm thinking about this, what has happened to these teams if you remove these players?
They win the Champions League with Di Matteo. Frank Lampard left, they win the Champions League. Roy Keane left, they didn't win shit.
Lampard was there for 2012 with Di Matteo.
Did he win the Champions League?
Yes, he did. He won it with Didier Drogba when they won against Bayern.
No, bro.
Yeah, that Drogba header against Bayern. We talking about? He was there. He left like 13-14 or 14-15.
How many titles did Chelsea win?
Chelsea, they won it with Mourinho 05.
No. But I'm talking about Champions League.
Oh, Champions League.
With Di Matteo, and the striker was Fernando Torres. It wasn't Didier Drogba.
Di Matteo was when then?
I don't know the
That
year,
was
but I know
2012,
that it
no?
was. I
Because
don't know the year.
2007.
I don't know the year exactly, but it was Fernando Torres, who was the striker, and Di Matteo was the coach. And I don't know if
Juan
Frank
Mata
Lampard
was in
was
that team.
there.
I know that for a fact. I know Lamps was there. There's no shot he wasn't there. He was still there in 2012.
All right, I want you to fact check that and put it on there.
If I'm wrong, crucify me. But Lampard,
Should crucify me more because
he's trusting me.
That's when
Exactly.
that's
Crucify the both
playing.
of us. Instagram already does to us anyways. Besides the point.
So
Your number 5 is Lamps.
yeah, who's yours?
My number 5, I said was Cesc Fabregas.
Okay, yeah, we're on 4.
Number 4, Steven Gerrard.
All right, and I got Roy Keane.
Okay.
I got Roy Keane. Steven Gerrard is at 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because again,
then I already know your top 3.
Because like I said, like the way I was judging this is players. If you remove them from the club, does that club still do without them?
Yeah.
If you remove Gerrard from Liverpool, they're nothing.
Gerrard from Liverpool, they're nothing.
Who you're relying on? Dirk Kuyt,
Then
Peter Crouch.
They won the Champions League with Kuyt.
Yeah, but with Lampard as well.
No, not with Lampard. With
I mean, that was Gerrard.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gerrard.
he
They
was
won it
there,
with
too.
Gerrard. If you remove Gerrard from
too.
Liverpool,
He was there. You're right.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But number 3,
Who you got 3?
Frank Lampard has to be top 3.
No, I do not rank Frank Lampard above the Keanes and the Steven Gerrard. So my 3 is Steven Gerrard. So I have Frank Lampard at 5, Roy Keane at 4, Steven Gerrard at 3.
Yeah, but Lampard could do what Gerrard did, but better.
No,
100%.
not better.
Yeah.
I think as a player total player, and I do not look at the amount of goals. I don't look at that. I look at the all-around ability of a player. Steven Gerrard was ridiculous. He covers so much more ground. Was so much more dangerous. For me, Frankie Lampard was a threat when it came to scoring goals, to shots outside, but as an overall player, and I'm telling you, all the English people will tell you,
defense, the way how he would check wide for midfielders, like he was your definition of a central midfielder that did everything. Claude Makelele doesn't define his number 6 role without Lampard.
No, I can't give you that. All-round player, Gerrard is night and day. I prefer him. I'm going to say this. I prefer him night and day over Frank Lampard as an overall player. And a lot of people that I talk to agree.
If that's your number 3, who's your number 2?
My number 2, De Bruyne.
Yeah, we're both agreeing on that.
Yeah,
it has to be Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah, I remember hearing like him at Wolfsburg at first, leaving Chelsea. I'm like, oh, it's exciting. See what happens. Killing at Wolfsburg, class, wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh my God, who's gonna sign him? Officially signed to Man City. I was gonna cry. I was like, why are they getting this kid? And he goes there. He was good, but then there was that one summer where he was injured. Left foot was a little off,
Yeah.
And then it's like he could do anything.
His IQ, bro. His IQ is just.
And that is someone. If again, we just saw this in the first 6 months of the Prem. You remove a Kevin De Bruyne from the situation, you struggle. It doesn't matter if you have your Haalands, your Fodens, your Grealishes, Stones, Rodri. I love Rodri, but you do not do anything.
You need that player that connects everybody, right? That, like I said before, creates that balance among the whole team. And Kevin De Bruyne
scores, assists, defends, everything.
Ridiculous. And I think
number 1, we both know. Yeah, Scholesy.
Yeah, if you didn't say Scholesy, I would have thrown you across the room.
I would have thrown myself out of here. No, Scholesy. There is nobody who can ping a pass better, who's as much of a dog as he is. Like again, that's why I'm saying
people don't know, but the dude was like you said, using your words, a dog.
Yeah,
the guy would listen. He wasn't scared of nothing. He would go against you, bomb and hit you from behind. They didn't care. He was nasty that way, but it was masked by his technical ability, his vision, his awareness, right? Like you give him the ball, bro, you know that the pass, you make a run, the pass will be there. He always made the right play, never forced situations, made sure that, the team was moving properly, the tempo was dictated properly by him, and Scholes, everybody. You think of all your favorites, the Xavis, the Zidane, the Ronaldinhos, all these people, the way they talk about Scholes is
they idolize. It's crazy.
They literally idolize. Ronaldinho said, if there's one player I could play with, was Scholes. Xavi was like, my favorite player growing up was Paul Scholes. Zidane, same thing. So it's like the respect he has in the soccer world, Scholesy.
And I feel like for anyone who like doesn't understand him as much as a player, if you want to watch him in like the more modern game, watch his game against Barcelona. Just watch his game against Barcelona when it was like that young Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta, Messi just breaking through. I think it was like the 09-10 season in the Champions League, or I think earlier around there, where Scholes, just from like 25 yards out, bangs a top right corner. And that like classic teal blue Barca kid against them. Like,
really?
It was the most insane. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I remember that.
A goal like that where the way how he strikes it, the way how it swerves, slowly getting away from Victor Valdez's hand where he can't reach it. If someone could strike a ball like that, and once again, like Ronaldo's been quoted to be like, my accuracy in playing long balls comes from learning from Paul Scholes.
Yes.
Like there's nobody where, for example, I think I heard a story where in training he hit a trunk of a tree from 50 yards out every time.
I read that too. Yeah, I read that.
No problem. Every time.
Yeah, he's the best striker of the ball that you'll ever see. So
also, he's so good. United had to take him out of retirement to win another Premier League and be like, okay, you're good. Thank you.
That's actually true.
So I'm saying.
And it was very strange not to see him with that number 18 shirt that last year.
He was 22, right? Yeah, because Ashley Young had it at the time. It was weird.
So definitely the best player in the Premier League. Midfield-wise, listen, you can even rank him up as one of the best players ever in the Premier League. And I had the fortune to have played with him.
Yeah.
And yes, I was definitely a lucky person to have him by my side. So that was cool, man. That was cool. Maybe next week we'll do strikers.
Maybe.
And if you go against me on that, I'll be very angry because that's my forte.
That is your forte. But
All right.
by the way, fun fact:
What's that?
when I play ball, I'm actually a left wing and a striker.
Left winger.
Yeah, left wing
fast?
slash striker.
You fast?
Not anymore. Nah, that's why they throw me centrally. But in high
That's
school,
what you said.
raps. No, but I will say one thing though. Honorable mention: Michael
Yeah.
Carrick.
Who?
Michael Carrick's my honorable mention.
Like, okay, that's a good shout. That's a good
The
shout.
most disrespected footballer, in my opinion.
I played with him, and he was a very, very good player. But, bro, we had some ballers on that list. We had
That's
some
what I'm
ballers.
saying. It's just that's why I'm like he's an honorable mention.
We got some balls on this. Listen, next week, strikers. Next week, strikers. All right?
Strikers. We all know who my number one's gonna be.
Listen, brother, thank you very much for being on the cast. I appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
We'll do this. We'll definitely do this again, all right? Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.
Peace out.